Yeah, hello everyone, and welcome back to our Angular lifecycle hook series. So today we are going to discuss the another lifecycle hook method, that is ngAfterViewInit and ngAfterViewChecked. So today we will see what is these two lifecycle hook method, when to use it, how to use it, and also we will try to implement a practical example, and I will try to make your concept very clear about this lifecycle hook method. So after this video, you will know that when and in which scenario, or in which requirement we should go for using this lifecycle hook method in Angular. So let us start our lecture. Yeah. So first we will see what is ngAfterViewInit. So ngAfterViewInit is a lifecycle hook in Angular that is called after Angular initializes the component view and all its child view. Let's say that you want to means stabilize a child view, or you want to access the child component, okay, through the parent component by creating the instance of the child using @view, okay, @view child. So with that you can means create the instance of the child, and with that this ng after view init will get called, because it get called by Angular automatically. So as a developer you don't need to call this lifecycle hook manually, but Angular will call automatically when Angular will initializes the component view and its all child view, and it belongs to the interface that is after view init interface. So you can implement this interface so that you can override this ng after view init lifecycle hook method. All right. Next, when ng after view init is called, so this is very important to understand. It is called once after the first ng after content checked is done. So this ng after view init is called only one time by Angular, okay, and this will called after ng after content check. So guys, I have already created one lecture regarding ng after content check. If you have not checked that lecture already, then I can suggest you to watch my previous lecture in this lifecycle hook series. Okay. So it is the right place to access the child component reference or DOM element. So with this you can access the child component reference via @view child or via @view children. So these are the two decorator by which you can access the child component references, and with that you can access the or call the child component method or any property or any DOM element. So when we are using this @view child or @view children decorator to access the child component properties from the parent component, then the Angular is going to call this ng after view init lifecycle hook method, but this will be called only one time, right? So this is very important, that ng after view init will be called only one time. So in this, it call only one time, it means it can be used for initializing your component, or you want to do some API call when the view child is used to access the child component. So in this scenario you can use this, right? Now, why to use ng after view init? So we can use this ng after view init to access or to manipulate the DOM element of child component. Okay, let's say that you want to manipulate the child component DOM elements, or you want to call any method which is already present in the child component ts file, and there from there you want to return some value, then you can use this, right? Yeah. So to run jQuery, okay, to run chart libraries, or to perform scrolling, focus, or other actions depend on the view being fully rendered. So when the view is fully rendered by the Angular, then this ng after view init is called, and then now you can manipulate the DOM element of your child component. So this is the use of this. So when to use ng after view init? So when DOM manipulation involving child element, if you want to do DOM element manipulation using the child element, then you can use ng after view init. Also to access child component property, if you want to access the child component property with the at the red view child or at the red view children like decorator, then you can go with this. When you want to use element reference to access the template element or to call method on a child component, then you can use all this ngAfterViewInit method, right? So this is about ngAfterViewInit. Now we are going to see the another lifecycle hook method, ngAfterViewChecked. Yeah, so once I will complete the theory on this, then I will try to implement and in Angular project, and then there I will yeah, so there you will get more idea how to implement these two lifecycle hook methods and in which scenario you can use it and how to use it, right? So let's understand with ngAfterViewCheck. So this hook is called after Angular has checked the component view and its child view, and it is called after ngViewInit. So basically first ngAfterViewInit will be called, and this will be called only one time. After that, ngAfterViewCheck will be called once the Angular has checked the component view and the child view. And also if there is any change detection is happened and Angular has detected any change, then like automatically this ngAfterViewCheck will be called. So it means that ngAfterViewChecked lifecycle hook method can be called n number of times. Whenever there is any change is detected by Angular, then this lifecycle hook method will be called automatically by Angular. So ideal for reacting to change in a view or checking value that Angular might miss in a change reduction. So there so we can use this ngAfterViewCheck if we have to react any change in the view or checking value that Angular has missed it with the change reduction, then you can use this ngAfterViewCheck. But you need to keep a very special take care that you should not put such logic, because this will be called every time whenever there is a change reduction. Let's say that you have clicked one button, okay, with that the event will generate. So Angular will means see that there is change reduction with that event of that button click, then the Angular will call this ngAfterViewCheck method. So you should not put such heavy or huge logic inside this checked lifecycle hook method, right? Because this will be called many times. Now, okay, now the key components concepts are like when we using at the rate view child, it get reference to child component or element. Okay, ngAfterViewInit runs after the component and its children are fully initialized in a DOM. And like instead of this ngAfterViewInit, you cannot use ng on init. Okay, the logic you are writing in ngAfterViewInit, you cannot use that same logic to write inside ng on init, because the child view is not yet initialized. So a child once the child view is initialized, then only you can use this child component DOM property manipulation. So you should otherwise if you will try to use inside ng on init, then you will get undefined means undefined like error, okay, or warning. Yeah, so I hope you means you have observed that. Yeah, so you have to keep special care that the logic which you trying to manipulate the DOM using child reference, then you have to do inside ngAfterViewInit only, not in the ng on init, because ng on it runs at a time when till that time I mean the child view is not yet initialized, so you will get undefined error. Okay, yeah, so undefined error you will get. Yeah, so this is important point to take care. Now let's move ahead and see how to implement this to like lifecycle hook method. Okay, first we will try to implement that init one. Okay, ngAfterViewInit. So let's move to our studio. So here we will use parent component and the child component. First in the child, so we already have this child component.ts file. So let's do one thing. Let's create some method here. Mm, let's say with the name grit string returns let's say hello from child component. Okay, so this is a simple sweet method with the name grit, which is returning a string value that is hello from child component, and this we added in our uh, child component. All right. Okay, so now let's do one thing. Now let's go. Yeah, so this we have added in our child component. Now in our parent component dot ts. Now let's do one thing. So already we have a child component, right? So let's create one. Okay, so let's use this view child decorator. Okay, so view child decorator, and here we need to pass our child component. Let's provide the name as child comp as a reference variable. Let's make it undefined. Okay, and now child component. Yeah, so here child comp is a reference variable of our child component, this component child component, right? Let's put some message from child. Let's put this as an empty. All right, now let's try to implement that ng after view init. So this is the lifecycle hook method which we will try to understand. Okay, void. So this return type is void. Now okay, so let me add some. So this will be called, okay, once after the view and child view. Okay, this is important. View of the parent and the child view are initialized. Okay, this is the important point that you have to know, that once the view and the child view is fully initialized by the Angular, then only Angular is going to call this ng after view init lifecycle hook method. So let's do some, this dot message equals to this dot child comp dot grid. So what we are trying to do here, we have a grid method already in child component. So here the string will get returned by the grid method, and we will storing this in a message from child property. All right, now let's do one thing. Let's add some console. Ng after view init call. Okay, so this will indicate that this lifecycle hook method has been called. Okay, now let's do one thing. Let's create one button. Okay, in our parent html basically. So let's add one button, and here let's put one click event. Okay, and with this click let's call one method change child message is my function name. Okay, and let's provide the heading as change child message. So this is the message. Okay, before that let's put some okay, so let's create this method inside our parent component.ts. So let me pick this and put it at last. All right, so this is the method change child message, and in this when the button will get click, we will only update this message from child property with, let's say, something updated message from parent component. So this is the message we want to put. when we click that button, then this message should get updated. Now let's do one thing, let's print this message. Okay, let's use interpolation, and let's print so that we will understand that message is getting changed when we click a button. So let's put mm, okay, let's put a strong message from child. Okay, and now here we will use interpolation, and here let use message from child. Yeah, so simply we will display whatever the value of this message from child property, and once we click that button, it should get updated, and it should also view in our like browser that we have updated this message by click of a button. Okay, so this is for an HTML, and this is our inside parent component. So we have saved this. Let me do ng serve. Okay, let's go here. Okay, you can see hello from like message from child, hello from child component, but this is button we cannot see. Okay, we got some error. Expression change after has been checked error. Okay, this is one error we got. Expression change after has been checked error. Expression has changed after it was checked. Okay, so this is actually a runtime error ng0100. So this is very important message. Error comes when we use ng after means when we use ng after view init. Okay, so in Angular, this is the way of actually like protecting you from unexpected behavior by detecting that a value was changed after Angular had already checked it during the change reduction. Okay, so this is the way of Angular to protect your data. Okay, so we can so why this happens actually, the Angular performs two change deduction passes in the development mode. First pass is Angular updates the DOM and component binding. Okay, when Angular updates the DOM element and the component binding, then the change reduction happens by Angular. And the second pass will be in the dev mode only when we are doing the development. In that, Angular reruns changes deduction to verify that no binding has changed unexpectedly. Okay, so if binding values changes between these two passes, then this like throw this error. So what we need to do for the, yeah, so basically what happens inside ng after view init, we are trying to update again this property. Okay, because when the component has been initialized, it has been initialized with default value, but inside ng after view init, we are trying to update this with the view child reference. So that's why this Angular is detecting that there is a change is done. Okay, and so basically Angular already rendered this message from child value, okay, during the first check. Now now this change again happened right afterwards. When this lifecycle hook runs, then this change is happening again here. So it sees a mismatch during the second check. Okay, then at that time it throws expression change after it has been checked error. So by this name you can see and identify that it says something that expression has changed after Angular has already done the first check. So in the second check it identify that change is done again. So to protect your data, it throws this error in runtime so that developer can check that already changes had been done. So what is the solution of this? The solution can be you can forcefully update this. Okay, so how you can forcefully update this? For that you can use the change reduction. So for that, let's do one thing. Okay, in the parent only, let's create our constructor. Okay, inside constructor, let's define, there is a change, change detector, change detector ref. Okay, and something this. Okay, so let me try to see. If we can import this change, change detectorref. Okay, okay, yeah. So this is the like change detector reference. Okay, we have to auto wire inside constructor, and this is coming from Angular core basically. All right, and then you can use this reference here after updating. Okay, so we will tell Angular that we will update this. Sorry, what is the name? Cd reference. Okay, cd reference dot detect change. Okay, so by forcefully we are again running the change reduction, and with this now it will update this reference, and the error will like go away. Okay, so let me save this. Yeah, now we can see we didn't get any error. So for you, let me do one thing. Okay, so that's fine. It's already compiled. Now let's go to our Chrome. Okay, let's go to our Chrome, and okay, so this is our Chrome, and okay, let me refresh this. Okay, we can see hello from child component, right? But why we cannot see the button? Let me see our code. Button click. Okay, we missed something. Button click is there, click event is there. Okay, we missed this one. Button click change child message. Okay, we have to close this here. All right, and this will come inside this tag. Let me delete this. Okay, let's save this. Now let's go to our here. Okay, now you can see that we are getting this message. Okay, now let me show you the console. So in the console you can see that ngAfterViewInit is called. Okay, this ngAfterViewInit is called only one time, right? Here you can see that you are getting only one match. Okay, now let me clear the console. Now if we click this chained child message, okay, then it should update your message. Okay, now you can see that it updated the message from child component now. Okay, and now you can see ngAfterContentChecked is called. So in this lecture we have seen how to implement this both method, right? The first method is like ngAfterViewInit. So this will be called only one time. Okay, once the component has initialized its view, and also the child view. Okay, okay, once after the view and the child view are initialized, then this method will be called. So this will be called only one time. But this method, this lifecycle hook method, okay, let me see that. Okay, ng after content check. Okay, so this is actually ng after content check, because we have seen in our previous lecture of ng after content check that this is also one lifecycle hook method which get called every time when there is a check deduction. So now let me implement that the the lifecycle hook method, which is like ng after after view checked. Okay, and here we will put let's say, okay, so let's bring one thing, let's do one thing, count. Okay, we will increase the count, and here we will create some again count equals to 0. So we have count equals to 0, and we are increasing the count with this method click. And also we will try to put console.log ng after view uh, checked called. Okay, and then also we will display some values, let's say mm, dollar this dot count. All right, or what we can do, okay, so that's fine, it is not required to display it here. Yeah, so just we will see that this should actually display. Okay, so we'll come to know that or also we can do one thing, never mind, count, count basically. Okay, like this we can display. Now let's see what happens. Okay, so first we will clean all this, then we will load this again. Okay, when we load, you see this ng after view init method is called only one time. Okay, and here my initial value is showing up hello from child component. So this is coming from the child component to the parent component, right? Now let's click change child message button. So you see when we do it, then update message from parent component is done. Okay, so let me clear this up so that you can see in the console. Okay, so again I'm clicking this button. Okay, you see that ng after view checked is called. Okay, and again I will do click. Okay, you see that the count is 7 now. Again I do, the count is 8, 9, 10. It means you can put some logic if you want, dom deduction or dom like manipulation you want to do with every chain deduction using the view child decorator. Okay, so you can go with this ng after view checked. So this is the lifecycle method will be called every time when there is a change deduction, and here change deduction is done by this like button click. Okay, with this button click and event is getting generated and it is trying to update, and so Angular is calling this lifecycle hook method. And here you will see that init method is called only one time when our view and the child view was initialized, but this method, this lifecycle hook method ng after view checked will be called multiple times when there will be Angular chain deduction will be done. Okay, I hope you got the point. Now, so the important points you need to understand is that ng after view init is called once after initial rendering. Once the view and the child view is initialized by Angular, then Angular will call only one time this lifecycle hook method. But ng after view checked is called every time Angular runs change deduction. So this is okay, so for example, when component change data, when a button is clicked, so we have seen already the example of button click, or when user interface with form input, if there is an input change in the form, then also Angular detects a change. So whatever event you are putting, if there is a change detected by Angular, then it will call ng after view checked. If we are using at the rate view at the rate view child decorator to get the reference of the child, right? So this will be get called. Okay, so you should always avoid heavy or repetitive logic in ng after view checked, because it can trigger many time and it can hurt the performance. So this is very important to understand that how to use which lifecycle method you have to use. So once you will get the full idea about this, then you will understand about when to use this, how to use this, so that your performance should not get like down by using this lifecycle hook method. Because this lifecycle hook methods come into the picture for you the providing you the important operations by not mm, by not decreasing a performance of your project. But that as a developer you need to understand that when you should use which lifecycle hook method. Okay, the next point is use it when you need to react to post view updates like synchronizing dom manually or tracking child view state. Okay, so this is very important to understand. So in this lecture you have learned two lifecycle hook method, that is ng after view init and ng view checked. Okay, I hope you got the better idea now about all this concept. So guys, if you have learned something, then I will ask you to subscribe my channel, hit a bell button and share. So thank you and have a nice day. We will see with you into the next lecture, where we will try to explain you about the next lifecycle hook method, that is ng destroy.